associated with the Waterway City Research Facility, then get lost and leave this where you found. Alright? Because this stuff is important, and you don't need to be worrying about this. So, for your own good, hand this to the authorities. You got that? Alright, where was I? Oh yeah, this is Research Log 628, the Momento Mori. The Momento Mori is a creature that doesn't have skin on its head. Instead, it just has its skull, which has a brain in it. The doy can unhinge its jaw so wide that sometimes it nearly reaches the floor. But don't be fooled by the flexibility of its jaw. Getting chomped by this thing is really painful. The rest of its upper body appears to be the build of a tiger, although its fur is mainly grey, although some do have streaks or line on its fur. But the bottom half, oh gosh, that's a different story entirely. Its bottom half is the tail of an alligator. Crazy, right? It's like if a land mermaid went through a goth phase. Anyways, the size of its tail varies between male and female variants, as females usually have longer tails, although males do have horns on their skull. I even did a little doodle of one. Pretty cool, right? Whatever. Anyways, this creature is usually docile, but when angered, this thing fights like hell. It won't leave anything left of its opponent. As this thing is quite bulky, it will beat the crap out of their opponent, rip through them, and proceed to eat them. Brutal, isn't it? Thankfully, it doesn't really like conflict unless it's provoked. These guys usually live in pairs of 2 to 4. Sometimes they even survive on their own. The only other reason these guys even attack other creatures is because either they're hungry or they're an infernine. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, these two species hate each other, as the infernine and the Memento Mori basically eat the same thing. So packs of them will often fight for food, although the Memento Mori are a bit smarter and will often take the prey in the middle of the fight and run away. The infernine won't even notice what happened as they get too caught up in the fight. To loads of demons in the Oubliette, this thing is a death omen, which is stupid as these people in this hellhole live basically about 1 billion times longer than our stupid human life expectancy. Alright, next thing. These boneheads live around the south of the Oubliette, although these creatures are often captured for other purposes, like for their valuable skulls. Anyways, they live around the south as they do like living in tropical areas, because there are some down there. Although a few do live around the southeast, which is another reason why they hate the infernine so much, as they both want land to survive and will always fight for it around there. They also migrate from place to place for some reason. They're like a moving village. They often live in caves too, and if they can't find one, they make one, burrowing the sides of hills or mountains. They even burrow underground, making a sort of system. That's why a lot of the underground tunnels and caves in the Oubliette usually are easier to navigate through. It's because these guys made the tunnels. Alright, enough about their environment. I have something much bigger to talk about. In these research logs, we usually talk about the species and then conduct an experiment on them. The experiment my team is proposing is a way to see how many tranquilizers it takes to put this thing to sleep. So afterwards, we can make a special one that instantly puts them to sleep. We're also doing this instead of killing them because it's way too hard to do that. And the reason we're doing this whole experiment altogether is because he might use them against us. We've also found out that these creatures are usually docile to an attacker after they fall asleep. So after they wake up, they can be very useful to us. Alright, enough talking. Let's get to work. Hey, the experiment was just complete. It was actually a big success. We found out how many tranquilizers we need to knock the thing out. And we weren't damaged that much in the process, as the animal was kept in a 12 feet wide metal chamber, so it couldn't break out. It got angry when we tranquilized it the first 10 times, but after that, it started to become a little more docile, and it finally fell asleep after 78 tranquilizers. Mind you, these tranquilizers can kill 5 humans, which means these things have a great immune system. Alright, that's a wrap. End the tape.